The mysterious, the macabre, the out of this world. The following are real people. They have real stories, and they've had real encounters. Here tonight on Newsworthy, two words and two question marks.
He's alive! Have you checked the children? Get out!
Hello, and welcome to Encounters. The more and more I do episodes like this, I realize that an encounter with something odd or strange is not that odd or strange. More and more people reach out to me every day and tell me about their personal encounter. We want to hear from you as well. If you've ever had a haunting experience with the undead, a sighting of Bigfoot or maybe Mothman, have you seen a UFO? You didn't know what it was? We want to talk to you. Please reach out to us here at Newsworthy at Newsworthy with Steve and Jerry at gmail.com. It's all one word, it's an email, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Please understand we do have a lot of people wanting to share their story, so it could take us just a minute to get with you, but we absolutely will reach back out to you. Now, for tonight's episode, we have a great couple of guests. One, Mason, who has been dealing in the occult. Some would say dabbling, some would say messing with forces you probably shouldn't. But Mason's here to tell us all about it. We also talk with Stewart, whose ghastly encounter with the undead left him scarred for life. Tonight on Newsworthy, two words and two question marks.
Hello, we're back again with another Encounters episode. Tonight we're fortunate to have with us Mason. He's a 23-year-old from Sawyersville, Kentucky, another Kentucky resident. He's an at-home writer, and he's had some very weird things happen to him, and tonight he's going to tell us about it. Mason, take it away.
Well, there was a time, I don't know how rare this is, but my fiance and a few friends of ours, this had started with a trip to the bridge my friend had went to. So, he went to a bridge called Crybaby Bridge, and this is in North Carolina, I do believe. And so he had sent me a video, and there was like this scream in it. It was a distorted, mostly haunting scream. Turns out what had happened was he had something attached to him. And this is important because over the time, my fiance and we started having experiences because of it.
Oh, wow.
So, my friend Michael keeps sending me videos of, like, him being watched, there's knocking on his doors and walls, and turns out he had a demonic attachment to him, thanks to a bridge.
I looked
So,
that up. It's
mhm,
Crybaby Bridge. It's in Anderson, South Carolina.
yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
So what were you guys doing anything particular on this bridge that would make sense as to why a demon would have attached himself to your friend?
His girlfriend is, wait, no, she's not pregnant, but it was because at that time he was not in a good state of mind, and well, he decided, I told him not to make it worse. He had used his own blood to attach it so it would to himself, so it would not hurt me or my fiance.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
Yeah,
that would have been that's a good way to open a very bad
Yeah.
door.
Yeah.
I begged him not to do it. I told him you don't need to do that. That will hurt you more than it will help. I said, you want to protect us, but it's my job to protect you because I'm not letting anything hurt you guys. But all in all, he did it. I couldn't stop him. And so what had proceeded to happen was we've had encounters with that ever since. One particular encounter that freaked me out was Michael had called me on Snapchat that morning, almost borderline crying, telling he had saw a dream, a picture of me and my fiance. A car crash had happened in his dream, and a picture of my fiance and I had burned.
Really?
And so he told me, are you okay? Are you going anywhere with Peyton today? I said, I'm going to his house. Why? He said to me, I saw this dream I had of you guys, burning. So I didn't think nothing of it. And then at his work, he had called me at his work, and he kept saying there was this shadow figure following him around nonstop. And he had told me, and this is the part where I kept trying to think of reasons why this would be happening. But he said he was being followed at work, and he had shown me like a video of, we call in Snapchat, we video chatted. Behind a tree, you could see a figure like look out at the tree behind him and just stare at him directly. Like it was too thin, but not thin enough. It was thin enough to where it was unnatural. At that point, I knew something was wrong because it was in broad daylight. It was like a cardboard cutout, just a black sheet of paper. It looked human. It was a humanoid shadow figure in broad daylight.
You said this was on like Snapchat?
Yep, it was a video chat. I saw it myself, and it freaked me out because I
Dude.
told him, that's not good if it's that close to you.
That reminds me a little bit of the Encounters episode that we just posted 2 days, Monday. Mike, remember? Steve Mason hasn't heard it, but did you hear, Brett?
Mm-hmm.
The police officer?
Yeah, I heard it.
Some shadows moving on the sides, yeah.
It's always funny how we always hear, anytime we talk about demons or demonic anything, people never see them head on. It's like they thrive in our peripheral vision. So to be able to get it on Snapchat is pretty amazing.
Did you all like were you able to save that video or anything?
Sadly, no. But we had found out from, I found out though from Michael. I think this was before, after that happened. I can't remember, but there was a major clue. And his girlfriend's parents are demonologists. Like, they go around the world to help people and stuff. And we tried to get help from them, and they said it's like a bit too powerful. We don't know how to get this name out. And so Michael said he had a dream of like where there was these names and stuff, and the names had came from the Solomon's grimoire of demonic beings. So I had to do a whole exorcism on Snapchat to send it away, which ended up Michael's mic messing up, and I was being called a stupid bastard over the phone.
Well,
So where did you learn how to do an exorcism?
With an exorcism, it's like there's a lot. Oh, hold on, my God, I'm calling for me. Each
how do we
religion
pronounce
has its own different types of exorcisms you can do. To me, it just depends. Like, do you want to do this how a Christian would do it, like Catholic, an exorcism rite? The way I do it is I draw sigils and burn them to banish it or weaken the entity, so it's easier to get away.
Like for sage and stuff of that nature?
Pardon me?
Do you use like sage and burning sage?
And if not, what is it you're burning?
Yeah. What does your sigils require? That's new to me. I'm just interested. So I was asking you, Mason, what do you say you burn sigils? What does that mean for someone who doesn't understand what that is? Because I don't know what that is. I'm just curious.
It's a part of the occult, which, like I said to people, you can use it for bad, use it for good. What I mostly do is I use it for good. The only way I would ever use it for bad is if it was a last-ditch effort. Like if someone was harming my family or something.
So where did you learn that? It's not in like high school, obviously.
Oh no. Well, I've always had an interest in the paranormal, and this is something I've researched over years and years from grimoires. I have a book of shadows I bought from different like occult books. I've used extensive research because you always want to do research before you even do anything remotely with this stuff.
Yeah, it makes good sense.
Because you can
Good
harm
sense.
yourself more than you can help.
Well, that-
Earlier, you were referring to grimoires. Any particular one that you had studied?
I had a dictionary of demonic names and stuff, but
Okay.
I took that over to my fiance's house one time, and it just disappeared completely from me.
So, what would you? I think that's interesting. So, what do you think about Ouija boards? Is that a legit way of communicating? And the reason I ask, because I had an experience when I was probably 17, 18, with a Ouija board. There was a lot of people. My aunt, and Jerry, you know Aunt Becky, is very paranormal sensitive, and she sees things. And she was there. A friend of hers was there, and we had an experience where they were kind of getting really hateful with the Ouija board, and they said, "Okay, if you're so big and bad, give us a sign." Well, we were going all out. We had like 50 candles in the house at the time. And all at the exact same time, all 50 candles went down to just the flames went all the way down to the nubs and then came back up. And I was thinking the entire
No
time,
draft or anything that anyone knows.
maybe half of them,
But even the draft,
not all
yeah.
at the same time. And up until that point, I was like, this is BS. This is crazy. You're all moving what's that thing?
Oh yeah,
the planchet.
Yeah.
I was like, you're all doing that. You're all stupid. And when that happened, I came correct.
With Ouija boards, they can be a useful tool.
I would never use it in the first place, to be fair.
Sorry, Mason. Sorry. Go ahead.
So what was you saying, Mason?
Ouija boards, they do get a bad rap. And that bad rap mostly comes from people not knowing how to properly use them.
Gotcha. Well, man, I appreciate you coming on and sharing your experience with Crybaby Bridge with us today. That was phenomenal. It's a great story, and most importantly, a great encounter.
Stewart has a personal encounter that he wants to tell us about. Hello, Stewart. Thanks, first of all, for taking the time to stop and talk to us. We do appreciate it. Tell us about your story.
Thank you for having me. It happened when I was about very young, around 7, 8. My dad and I, he works for an electric company, so we would always go to job sites.
Right.
One night we went to an old psych hospital called the Ridges. It's down in Athens, Ohio, about a 15-minute drive from here. It's now an art museum, but back then, it was a pretty messed up place.
Was it still operational as a psych place?
Not then. It had been shut down for many years and was abandoned. So he did all the electric work for that. During the time, it was a shutdown, so all the electric was off in the building.
You're fine.
And he was in the building. I was sitting in the car. I look up as I'm watching my videos. I look up into this top left window of the building, and should be no lights in there. It should be black. And there's a glowing, almost like a warm light in the window.
I'll be darned.
And
now your dad was doing electrical work.
Yes.
When you say it should have been dark, your dad knew it should have been dark.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I see the shadow in that window. And I don't think anything of it. I'm young. I don't think anything of it. So I tell my dad when I get back, "Hey Dad, was someone up in this top left window? I thought it was only you in the building." And he's like, "No one's supposed to be up there. That place is off limits because there was a death in that area." I found out that there was a young woman who had died in that area of the hospital when it was still operational. In fact, there's still the bloody prints on the floor from where she struggled to get out.
Do you know the gentleman running this truck over here?
No, I do not.
That truck?
No.
He told us the same story you just told me. Not the window. He worked in that place. The room you're talking about at the mental hospital, with the woman that passed away. He said, I asked him, how long did they leave this woman there? He said he thought it was 10 days to 2 weeks, but he said her body was literally decomposing, and there's a stain, he said, to this day where her body lay. Got to be the same mental hospital he was telling me about.
Yes, that makes sense because there was a death in there, and it has been sealed off to the public for that room has.
He was only there because he was hired. He's an environmental engineer. He was doing an asbestos survey while he was there. But
Wow.
anyway, sorry to interrupt.
You're good. Me and my dad, he's very superstitious. I love the haunted side of things. So I dive down the rabbit hole. I keep going and going and going. There was that woman was playing hide and seek with the psychs apparently. Hides up in this room, locked herself in, couldn't get back out.
Oh man! So she wasn't a patient at the.
She was a patient, yeah.
Oh, she was a patient.
She was a patient. She escaped, went up to the room, and just never was found. Apparently,
Well,
not for a long time.
for a while. The time they did find her body was decomposed.
Yes.
Jeez. So your dad, what was his thoughts on that whole thing?
He thought I was just an imaginative kid. I mean, I wasn't a typical kid. I was diagnosed with autism, so he thought it was just me showing my imagination. So
Being creative.
yeah,
Roughly, how old did you say you were? Teen?
I was around 7, 8,
7, 8. Okay.
6, 7, 8, somewhere around there,
Just roughly.
just roughly there.
10 years ago. How long ago?
Probably 13 years.
Okay.
I
13 years ago. Can't believe your story's so similar to the story he was telling us a couple hours ago.
yeah, it's.
Yeah.
I mean that place has been known to be one of the most haunted places in Ohio.
What's the name of the?
It's called the Ridges.
Ridges.
It was once called the Ridges. It's now called the Kennedy Art Museum. It's on the Ohio University campus.
Yeah, remind me to stay away from that place. Couple of questions for you.
Yes,
Number
sir.
one, how has this experience changed you, or has it? If it has,
When-
how so?
It was my first experience with a ghost, so it actually propelled me into learning more about the
Like
cryptozoology
you said
and
earlier,
the
started down the
and-
rabbit hole.
yeah, it started me down the rabbit hole.
There you go.
Yeah.
Next question.
Yes, sir.
When you tell this story, what one thing do people normally get wrong? What are they mistaken about? So, if that was to happen with any of our listeners, what would you say?
I would say one thing that most people get wrong is that there was how do you know that there wasn't another person? How do you know that how do you know
Good
The-
point.
how do you know your dad wasn't in that room? Well, that room was always sealed off. You can't get in. Not even the electricians had access to that room. They didn't want any electricity going to that room.
And he
Because
would have told you also later on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was amazing talking to you.
Gotta be. We certainly appreciate you taking your time out. Anything else you want to add? Any closing words?
I thank you for listening and have a great day, sir.
Absolutely. Thank you. You have a great day.
And Jerry, if you can't see the light,
Be the light.